Okay, so Fluff World did a 11th Hour podcast on Friday in New Zealand, and I wanted to give a pretty quick recap of some of the things that they touched on in this for anyone who didn't quite have the time to tune in for the 2 hours that it ended up being probably. So most of that was Disclosure, who produced an NFT song on the podcast live, which was really cool to watch. I'm just seeing how it went from like a couple of rabbit eating noises and other thuds and stuff all into like a full-blown track, which is really cool. So that's going to be in the party packs, which are coming out at some stage soon. So a couple of things. So Brooke mentioned that he caught up with Taika Waititi at some stage and was discussing NFTs with him, trying to get him involved. So I don't know, keep that in mind for the future. They also talked about the Great Wall scene that they dropped to Tiger Fur Fluffs and Party Bears, and they said that what is this wall trying to keep in and out, or out, and what's behind it. They briefly touched on concerts in boroughs. Some of you may have played Fortnite in the past, or you might have seen the coverage of Marshmello or Ariana Grande doing in Fortnite concerts. Now they talked about how like one of these was kind of like the live thing happening, and there was 100 players in that server, and then that just gets replicated over and over and over and over again, and how that could be something that happens in boroughs, which would be pretty cool. One other thing that they did talk about with boroughs is they said that the app is in the works and they want boroughs to be accessible for all, which is why they're starting with a phone app that pretty much anyone with a phone would be able to use, and then from there obviously VR is a bit more computer hardware intensive, so that will be the next step after that for those who can afford that. I'll probably have to upgrade my computer, I think. Aaron touched on why he didn't like roadmaps, and they talked about actually deleting the roadmap off the Fluff website. They seem to like to do things a bit more organically and just tease things out as they are producing and getting closer to them being ready to release. I did post on my Instagram story about Seekers, which they did talk about briefly. They said they are coming. They are connected with Silo. They also touched on goblins briefly and said that light can't exist without darkness, and they also talked about how everything that they do and release in this space, they want to continually like push the boundaries and make the experience and like gameplay overall just better and better and better. So I have no idea what's happening with the goblins. Maybe there's going to be some sort of war or something, some kind of game around that, but excited to hear more about goblins. They also talked about Fluff House, and they announced the lineup for that. T-Pain's going to be there, Angel Baby, Gavin Truick and Chromio are all going to be performing at Fluff House. It sounds like it'd be really cool. I'm kind of annoyed that we can't get to LA. Hopefully they do something in New Zealand at some stage. With Fluff House, they did announce a competition for people who can't attend, and they're calling it like the Build Your Own Fluff Party. They are saying make it tailgate themed, and you know, get some video of that and submit it to the team. They'll play the footage at Fluff House, and you'll go on the draw to win bunch of different prizes from boroughs and scenes and sound. They also reminded people about the Ledger competition. This has now actually been extended to the 7th of March. This is to educate people on security in the Web3 space. I'll be making a video for this. Hope to have that sorted in the next week or two, but this extension is pretty helpful for me as well. They made a quick comment about a robotics company that requested to have a meeting with the Fluff team. Didn't say too much more than that, but pretty crazy that that kind of thing is happening in this space. They also talked about their layer 2 solution coming very soon. So with this will help us be able to swap our scenes and our sounds from our Party Bears and our Fluffs for like under a cent pretty much. So they'll be bridging the assets to the SenseNet blockchain, and that's coming soon. And they had said though that they'll need about a week of downtime on scene and sound swaps just to get this all sorted for us, but I think it's going to be worth it. We want, 4 cents or 0.04 cents instead of $30 to $60 in gas is definitely everyone's preferred option there, I would say. They talked about Beastie Boys, which I didn't quite catch all of it, but it sounds like it might be like another metaverse group that are going to drop a sound at some stage. I think they might even have a video like dressed up as I'd say bear, some sort of like party bear, and it'd be cool to see some more people producing stuff in this space like Angel Baby has already. That's the quick wrap up, and just while I have been recording this, it is actually Fluff's 6-month anniversary. Happy anniversary, Fluff. They have released a competition for this too on Twitter, so you just have to go in and you kind of have to share your Fluff timeline or a story about Fluff, so make sure you enter that on their Twitter.